Welcome to Technically Speaking, the show for the technically challenged. If you're anything like me, you've got a house full of tech clutter. Old computers, wires, keyboards. I never like to throw anything out. So if you've bought anything new and kept the old stuff, this episode is for you. Today we're talking about reuse, repurpose, and recycle. What to do with all that old tech gear cluttering up your house. Now, perhaps right now you have something that looks like this setup here. A monitor, a tower, a keyboard, and a mouse. Now, maybe your computer's getting a little old and tired and you're thinking about something new. Maybe you want to get a laptop now that the prices have come down. Well, what we're going to talk about first is how to reuse a lot of this equipment to make your laptop setup so much nicer and high-tech. First of all, when you first took it out of the box years ago, your monitor and your tower are connected by a wire that looks like this. This is called a VGA plug. Luckily, they're always blue, so don't worry. You can simply detach this from your tower and plug it into your new laptop. Here's the plug here, also blue. I love the color coding. So the first thing I'm going to do is just plug that in. Screw on the sides. There we go. The other two things that you probably have plugged into your tower are your keyboard and your mouse. These are called USB plugs. And fortunately, USB plugs are also universal. We can take them right out of our tower and plug them into the side of our laptop here. Now, if you take a look what happened on our screens, whatever is showing up on our laptop screen is also showing up on our desktop monitor. It's a great feature to be able to have things in two screens, but let's set it up so that it works the best way for us. The first thing I'm going to do is take the mouse and simply put it in a blank space and right-click it. Click the right side of my mouse. And come down here to personalize. Next, what I'm looking for are the display settings. Here they are, change display settings. And you'll see here a picture of our two computer monitors that they very nicely labeled 1 and 2 for us. The biggest thing you want to think about is where it says multiple displays, because that's what we have now. We have a display here on our laptop, and we've wired in a second display. Now, mine automatically went to extend these displays. I do have another option, which is duplicate these displays. Take a look at what happens when I duplicate these displays. Now, both screens are showing the exact same thing. Now, you may want that if you want to watch twice as much of your favorite show or something like that. Generally, I don't like both of my screens to show the same thing. Instead, I like my screen to act as one giant screen. Here, I'm going to go back here, and instead of duplicate, I'm going to choose extend these displays. Now that it's extended, you can see what I can do is I can even drag things from one side to another. In fact, I can open something completely different on this one. For example, I have here a picture. So I can have something on one screen and something entirely different on another. I can move from screen to screen simply by taking my mouse, clicking on the top bar, and while I hold the button down, just slide it back and forth. This is a great feature, especially if you have children who are doing lots of homework. I know mine will pull up a textbook online on one side and maybe a word processing program on the other side so that they can refer back and forth while they're typing. And it was that simple to do. So far we have a new laptop we got our screen working, our mouse is working, and I also have the keyboard working. The great thing about using a keyboard like this is if you have one of those nice computer desks that has a slide-out keyboard spot, you can have your computer and that double screen and still put the keyboard in a nice comfortable place to type, perhaps even with a mouse next to you. Well, that reused a bunch of our things. However, if you still have a tower that's working well, there are things we can do with that too. For example, you can always put the tower right next to your television in the living room. You could stream in Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, even use the DVD player right there on your computer to play DVDs if you didn't have one. There are a host of things you can do. Another great use for a big tower like this that you're not using is for storage. For example, if you have lots of things like pictures, videos, maybe you have iTunes filled with thousands of songs, and all of that storage is slowing down your computer, what you do is you leave it on the tower computer. Don't bother putting all those things on your laptop. You could just use them when you need them. It'll keep your new computer running fast, and it's a great place to store things also. You'll also want to consider that when it comes to things like photos and videos, you'll always want to store them in at least 2 different locations, just in case there's a problem. So that tower would really come in handy for something like that. So this is a great way to reuse your monitor, tower, keyboard, and mouse in a new project. Next, we're going to talk about different ways to repurpose equipment that doesn't work anymore.